All right, welcome to Pepsi SWAC Gameday. Week 9 is a wrap, and a few storylines were advanced on the field. Let's quickly relive the action.
It took a while for Jackson State to overcome some injuries and find stability at the quarterback position this season, but the Tigers have it now. Jacobian Morgan was on fire at UAPB on Saturday. 5 touchdowns for 373 yards. Tigers in a rout, 40-14 over the Golden Lions. FAMU was in a position to either clinch the SWAC East or leave the door open heading into November. The Rattlers closed the door quicker than Teddy Pendergrass, slamming it shut on Prairie View A&M and the Eastern Division. Jeremy Musa outdueled Trazon Conley, with Musa passing for 272 yards and 3 touchdowns, while Conley struggled with 3 interceptions, including one to Tevin Griffey, whose dad, Ken Griffey Jr., was there capturing it all on one serious camera setup. Wow. FAMU 45-7 over PV. Texas Southern and Southern, always some drama. This year, no different. Texas Southern leading 17-7 late into the fourth quarter. Kelby Givens, he wasn't giving, he was taking it to the house. 39-yard fumble recovery for the score, makes it a 3-point game. And then with 8 seconds left, Joshua Griffin with a 54-yard field goal, and we're tied at 17. Overtime. Kendrick Rhymes drops the mic in OT. His 16-yard touchdown run, enough for the 23-7 Jaguar win. Grambling and Bethune-Cookman. The game started with a gift. Tink Boyd, but he's there. Right place, right time, right speed. 58-yard score. But Grambling runs off 3 unanswered touchdowns afterward in the first quarter. It was 21-14 by halftime. Grambling adds a fourth quarter score for the 28-14 win. Magic City Classic, a back-and-forth game in the first half, including an Alabama State touchdown as time expired heading into halftime. It was 17-14 Hornets at the break. But 2 unanswered touchdowns in the second half was all the magic that Alabama State needed in the 31-16 win. Mississippi Valley State and Alcorn State, the Delta Devils on the road managed just the field goal, while the Braves punish Valley on the ground. All rushing touchdowns by ASU, taking what was a 10-3 game at the half and making it do what it do in the second half with 2 70-yard-plus scoring drives and a 24-3 win.
It's on to Week 10 now. The SWAC East is a wrap. The SWAC West is sort of getting figured out, sort of. We have plenty of action to get into as the chill of November sets in on SWAC football. I'm Tolly Carr in Atlanta, and welcome again to Pepsi SWAC Gameday, brought to you by Pepsi, official partner of the Southwestern Athletic Conference, GM, proud sponsor of the SWAC, Home Depot, proud sponsor of the SWAC. Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods and outdoor retailer of the SWAC, and Nike. All right, that's the past. Let's fast forward to the future and hear from the coaches as we get ready for the weekend. It's a Thursday because we can't wait until Saturday. Back on ESPNU this week, we have the upstart Delta Devils from Mississippi Valley State taking on Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah, man, when we can protect, we got some guys on the perimeter that can make plays. So, just being able to protect our quarterback, keep him upright, is going to be the key. And just denting the line of scrimmage vertically, just being able to take another grown man and move him against his will. It's going to be very important. Everything started up front. I'm telling you, it's football. It's not as complex as we make it sometimes. It's still being able to run, block, protect, and tackle.
Well, just the 5 A's, want to make sure we're aligned, right? Assignment, adjustments, alerts, and then obviously the attack phase. But, at the end of the day, play with unbelievable effort and technique and fundamentally sound.
FAMU has wrapped up the East, and now they can look forward to even bigger goals in 2023, but they cannot overlook Alabama A&M, who wants to get their swag back after dropping one at the Magic City Classic last weekend.
Yeah, we need a big crowd. It was the other game, got FAMU coming in, the best team in the conference. So we look forward to this challenge. It's going to be a great challenge, but we look forward to it, and we'll get to practicing this week and get prepared, put on a good show.
Well, two things jump out when you watch those guys play. One, they're very opportunistic. They create turnovers. And so we got to make sure for us that we're able to establish the run, which we just talked about, and how effective that is and how it allows us to be successful on both sides. And we got to protect the ball. The ball can't hit the ground. That's fumbling, that's incompletions. Last few years we played them, we've turned the ball over on quarterback, running back exchange. They ran it back for a touchdown last year. They recovered it on the short side of the field. So we can't give a team like that who's prolific on offense as well those extra opportunities. So ball security is of the utmost importance this week.
Southern and Alcorn State, how the West was won, might be pinned in Lorman, Mississippi on Saturday afternoon. Playing on the road at Alcorn State, man, you got to get your mind right for that one.
I believe we have to make it real tough this weekend coming up because we got a real good football team coming in as well this weekend. So I think the fans and the stuff they see when they get in on the reservation kind of overwhelm them of how when they come in, what they see when they come in those gates, when they're driving through the crowd and they see the excitement and the fans, friendly people. It's tough here. It's tough to play here. I can imagine coming here playing myself, but it is a tough place, tough crowd. It's a tough venue. So we're going to need that this weekend out of our fans this weekend.
And when you go down there to Alcorn and play down there, it's all good that you're going to play on the reservation, but then you're going to play a tough football team. So we know that, but you got to love that being a part of SWAC football. You know that it's going to be challenging, and that's why you tell your players to come to HBCU, especially the SWAC, because of the type of experience you're going to have, the type of games you're going to have. And it's going to be, I think, college day at its best, black college football at its best.
Texas Southern, Jackson State, two teams who had aspirations of a divisional title when the season began, but things didn't exactly work out that way. But football is all about winning this week and forgetting about what was or what could have been. This should be a tough one at the vet in the SIP.
Yeah, our team does a great job of focusing on what's next. There's not anything we can do about what's happened in the past. We know that we're a really good football team. Things just haven't gone our way in certain situations, certain games. But we prepare for the next opponent. And we watch the film, figure out what mistakes we've made, what we need to correct, and then we just get ready for our next opponent.
Well, like I always tell the team, if we started, we're going to finish it. We want to start the same way. We want to finish the same way we started the season, with energy and everything, because it's a privilege to have football games, be able to play football games. The game we play, they understand that. That's why they are still giving a tremendous effort out there each and every quarter for this football team. We take pride in wearing the block, and we understand it. We don't want to take any team lightly. So regardless if we're playing for a championship or not, we're playing football games. And, that's the way we're going to finish this thing in these last 2 weeks.
The HBCU Go Game of the Week takes us to Prairie View A&M. The Panthers took it on the chin last weekend in Tallahassee at FAMU's homecoming. No longer in the driver's seat in the SWAC West, but they haven't been dumped on the curb quite yet. Still in the race and hosting a scrappy Arkansas Pine Bluff team that is still believing in the future of what they are building.
We're building it day by day. We ain't going to change our thought process. We just got to get these guys to strain on the block, take the guy in front of you, put him in the dirt. That's it. If you got a double team, y'all double up to him, get to the next back. So, we're right where we want to be. We just don't have the wins. And we knew it would be tough as we got in the middle of the season, just seeing where everybody was in the conference. And we just got to go ahead and finish it.
But we're fine, pretty much, should I say, throughout the week. And then, then we get to game time, and then guys forget where they're supposed to run a route, forget a check down, and little things like that, that gets you beat against a good team or against any team if you continue to make that many mistakes. So as coaching staff, as I told them, heck, we need to do wristbands with these guys, or again, bring them in a little bit earlier and a little bit more, get them in, watching film on their own so they can see it more and more. And again, I'm all about repetition. So, the more we rep it, the more they see it. Hopefully, the better we get at it.
And this one might be the game of the week. Down in Mobile, Grambling versus Alabama State. Grambling is 3-2 in the SWAC. Should they beat Alabama State, they'll be tied for second place behind whomever wins between Southern and Alcorn State, with Southern still on the schedule for Grambling, of course, in the Bayou Classic. But that's a lot of math to figure out with 3 games remaining in the regular season. So let's just concentrate on winning, says Graham Fan. That's all they can do. Alabama State, there's no chance of a divisional crown, but a winning season would be the move for Eddie Robinson Jr.
Of course, Miles Crawley was here for a couple years. Great kid. Had a good relationship with him. Hated to see him leave, but his dad went to Grambling, so I understand that pull to get back home to where he grew up at. And so he's been having a really good year, and he's going to throw the ball. We know he has a really strong arm, so our kids are familiar with him. But he's just one person on the team. We have to be prepared for all 70 of those guys, not just Miles Crawley. So that'll be the message to the guys. Let's make sure we're playing Grambling State and not just the guy that we know pretty well. And so, wishing him the best of luck, and it's going to be a good game.
They're a very good football team. I mean, they're really good defensively. Obviously the head coach is a defensive guy. He's a tremendous player. He was a great player in the league when I competed against him. So I'm looking forward to it being an unbelievable matchup for us. We got to go play our best football.
All right, let's dissect all of this action that's coming up now with Charles Bishop while adding some context from this past weekend. We'll put the schedule on the screen as we kind of cherry pick some of the action that we are looking forward to highlighting for this upcoming weekend. Chuck, welcome to the show, man. Let's start with Southern. I mean, you and I can relate to the BGs. John Travolta staying alive in the SWAC West. Chuck, they had a 54-yard field goal in the final seconds. They go on to win it in overtime. Southern looking to carry that energy into a game against Alcorn State on Saturday for first place outright. It's been a long time since we've been able to say that in the SWAC West.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, when you take a look at it, like you said, Southern staying alive, and it was huge this past weekend. It wasn't aesthetically beautiful, but a W. It was a W. Huge Southern comeback in the final waning minutes of that game. 54-yard field goal by Joshua Griffin, and then Kendrick Grimes finishes it off in overtime. A scoop and score in there that led it into overtime. But I tell you what, they got a tall task this weekend, taking on this balanced Alcorn State football team, a team that can run the ball with Jarvin Howard, can throw the ball with Aaron Allen, and they have the third leading receiver in the SWAC in Monterio Hunt, who will go up and get it. So it is a tall task for the Southern Jaguars this weekend on the reservation.
And Chuck, they just had to be there to understand how big the BGs were back in the day, man.
They did, exactly.
That was the jam. All right, FAMU, they now have some bigger fish to fry, and I know that fish was tasting good down in Tally. Ooh, at homecoming. All right, but the rest of the SWAC East, they've got that under control, but they still have to play the games on their schedule because they want to secure a home game in that SWAC championship game coming in December. Alabama A&M will have to play to restore some pride this weekend after falling in the Magic City Classic. So, Chuck, FAMU would love to host that game, maybe get an edge and possibly making their first ever Celebration Bowl. How do you manage that season when you clinch your division so early?
Coach Willie Shotgun Simmons, he mentioned there's a lot still on the line with regards to FAMU, especially being able to host the SWAC Championship in one of the most venerable places in all of HBC football, Bragg Memorial Stadium. So you take a look at it with FAMU, that running game has really started clicking over the past couple of weeks. 197 yards on the ground this past weekend, 6.2 yards per carry. FAMU's rushing offense is really up and going. And then when you talk about FAMU, you cannot forget the Dark Cloud defense. 3 interceptions, 3 sacks this past weekend against Prairie View. They are going to be one tough out going down the stretch.
Chuck, if you continue to use words with more than 7 letters, I'm going to make you spell them on the air. Be careful.
Good point, Tyler.
Be careful, Chuck. But this is still a dangerous Alabama A&M offense. They didn't get it done last weekend, but look, FAMU cannot just start looking forward to December. We got the whole month of November to go.
Yeah, and then you take a look at Alabama A&M. You're talking about offensive prowess over there. Xavier Langford, Donovan Eaglin. This is an offense that put 45 points up on Grambling. They can put some points up on the board. So FAMU, they can't dial it back just yet, but this is a big game for them this weekend.
All right, talking about big games, Chuck. Grambling, Alabama State, the Hornets out of the divisional race, but they can still come away with an excellent season. If they win out, I think they can go 8-3. Grambling doesn't fully control their own destiny. That 1-point loss against Alcorn State, man, that one really hurts right now. That one hurts bad right now, but still in contention. If they keep winning, that's the one thing they can control. This might be my favorite game to watch this weekend, Chuck.
Yeah, this is going to be a good football contest when you talk about Miles Crowley facing his old team with Alabama State. If we're not talking Jeremy Moose in terms of the number one pass from the SWAC, it's Miles Crowley right there at number 2. He's thrown for over 1,700 yards this past season, 12 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. And I tell you what, he has some weapons on the outside with regards to Lyndon Rash and Javon Robinson. Javon Robinson, 6 catches, 70-some-odd yards this past weekend. And then when you talk about Grambling's offense, you're talking about the backfield of Floyd Chalk and Chance Williams. Chance Williams rushed for 119 yards this past weekend. So Grambling, offensive prowess going up against this Alabama State team with the defensive prowess, coaching Bubba Adams. He is one of the top tackles in the SWAC. He is averaging 12 tackles per game, Tolly. Alabama State defense only giving up 18 points per game. And then on the offensive side of the ball, Keyshawn Johnson. He's the number 1 receiver in the SWAC. So like you said, this is going to be a great game as well.
Look, here's the thing about Alabama State, Chuck. I won't use one of your big words. They have one of the most fabulous football stadiums in the SWAC. The facilities are top notch, and people have always said about Alabama State, man, if they can get the football on track consistently year in and year out, man, that's going to be one of the teams that you have to watch. Won't win it this year, but I think this has been a heck of a year up to this point. A 3-game win streak right now for Eddie Robinson Jr.
3-game win streak, a win at Jackson State on Jackson State's homecoming Magic City Classic win. You can't say enough about this Eddie Robinson Jr. team. It started off a bit slow, but they picked up the pace during the course of the season. But like you said, they want to finish out strong.
All right, and Hugh Jackson, he's coming as well. Hugh says, hey, man, watch you work, baby. This will be a good one this weekend. All right, finally, wrapping things up here with you, Chuck. You were on the fence last weekend about your Halloween costume. It just occurred to me that Chucky would have been a good go for you as well, man. What did you decide on Tuesday night, Charles?
Chucky would have been perfect, but I'm not going to say I wagered the season, but I have a FAMU neighbor who wanted to make sure that I was decked out in some FAMU Rattler gear this past Halloween. So I had to don the headsets, and I had to put on a ball cap, and I had to be Willie Shotgun Simmons for Halloween. So I was Shotgun Simmons, and I had to not say Happy Halloween, but strike again, or hubba hubba. Either would work.
Did you lose a bet, Chuck? You're a SWAC West man. Did you lose a bet here?
A little small wager going into the season.
I need photos. Is there photo evidence of this Willie Shotgun Simmons reincarnation by you, Chuck?
Hopefully not, but I'm sure there are photos somewhere.
We'll put our investigative team over at HBCU Game Day on it, man. We're going to scour the internet. We got to find that. All right, Chuck. It's homecoming for you, Prairie View A&M this weekend. You'll be on the call. Looking forward to seeing that live stream, man, and you guys enjoy it this weekend, all right?
Will do. Prairie View has a very, very nice homecoming. Looking forward to it. Got UAPB coming in this weekend. The Panthers looking to get back off the deck after this 2-game losing streak, so it's going to be a good game.
And by very nice homecoming, he means there will be lots to eat. We know how Charles gets down.
Exactly.
Time now for Players of the Week. Jackson State's Jacobian Morgan and Liliana Armenta, along with Grambling State's Sundiata Anderson and Alabama State's Amon Scarborough are the SWAC Football Players of the Week for their impressive performances this past weekend. On offense, Morgan finished the game 373 yards passing, 26 of 36 he was, to go along with 5 passing touchdowns. He connected with a total of 8 different receivers, also 21 yards rushing during Jackson State's road win at UAPB. On defense, Anderson, he's your preseason Defensive Player of the Year, came through with those accolades this past weekend. A significant force, we're going to call them, 12 total tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss, and 1.5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. Our Specialist of the Week, Arminta, became the first woman in HBCU history to score in a game. She converted all 3 of her PA attempts during the Tigers road win at UAPB. You love to see history made in the SWAC. All right, Scarborough, our newcomer of the week. He recorded 6 tackles, 1 interception, a fumble recovery, and 2 passes defended. His interception ended in a drive in ASU territory in the 3rd quarter, and his fumble recovery stopped the drive in the 4th quarter. Man, one heck of an effort. Congratulations to all of our SWAC players of the week. Well, that is it for this edition of Pepsi SWAC Game Day. It is week 10, y'all. It is November. The heat is going to stay on longer than the AC at this point moving forward. A lot of great action coming up this weekend, and we'll talk about it next week right here on Pepsi SWAC Game Day.